What's up? I'm Natasha Bryant, your host of Unapologetic Living, and today I'm going to reveal to you the top 5 ways to guarantee success in achieving your vision board goals. Let's go. So you're here because you probably made a vision board, and also maybe because you've made vision boards in the past and you haven't really achieved the goals on your vision board, or you would forget about the goals, or there's just no intention with the vision board. And you just want to make sure that this year, 2023, you have a vision board that you are intentional about and that you actually follow through on achieving the goals that's on the vision board. I got you. And even if you haven't created a vision board this year, that is okay. You can still watch this video because this also applies to just goals that has been on your someday maybe shelf. That someday maybe shelf is that shelf where you put things, those big ideas, those goals, and say, someday maybe I will achieve them. Well, today we're taking those goals, those big ideas off the shelf so you can start achieving them today. And this is going to help you. These top 5 ways, these top game changer strategies, yes, is going to finally get you unstuck when it comes to achieving your goals, when it comes to turning your visions into reality, when it comes to allowing yourself to not get distracted, right, from all the demands that this year may bring, and you can still stay focused, intentional. That's the word for the day. The word of the day, intentional. So before we get started, we got to take care of some business. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, Speak Life Transformation. Let me tell you, I upload videos that talk about all types of ways that can help you improve your personal development, self-love, self-care. And so if that is you, if you're at a area in your life where you want to grow in those areas within your wellness, within your mental health, then you need to subscribe. A little bit about me. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I provide psychotherapy and confidence coaching online through my business, Speak Like Transformation. And so if you live in a PA or New Jersey area and you want psychotherapy, check out my website, speakliketransformation.com, and look at the services I provide. Fill out an inquiry form to begin services with me, or to at least sign up for or schedule a free consultation. And maybe you don't want therapy, but you recognize, you know what? I need some help with just like achieving my goals. I need help with figuring out how to get unstuck, to finally go after my dreams, to finally put myself first, feel more confident within myself, build the confidence, be able to set boundaries, set self-love, care, self-care for me, all of that. And you need a thought partner, a professional that can really help you grow in those areas. Hey, online coaching is perfect, and I'm just the person for you. So again, go to speakliketransformation.com, click on confidence coaching, and then you can fill out the coaching inquiry if you just want individual coaching, or you can check out my coaching program, Unapologetic Living, where I teach you how to do all the things that help you be unapologetic, and you can learn more about that program itself. So check out my website, follow me on Instagram, Speak Like Transformation. You can check me out on Facebook as well, Living Speak Life. And let's get started. Yes. So wait, did you subscribe? Did you like the video? Did you share it? all the above. Do all the above. But let's talk about the vision board. Okay. One reason why I decided to really focus on helping you reveal those top 5 ways to finally make sure that you achieve those goals that's on your vision board before the end of the year is because I'm often speaking with clients who have visions and ideas and inspirations in the beginning of the year. And I'm also one of those people that have gone to vision board parties, right? We get so excited about January. January is the hype. Like, yes, this year's going to be different. I'm going to do new things, new me, new year, new me, all the buzz, right? And we complete a vision board that gives us a sense of motivation and inspiration, as it should. But then either we don't finish the vision board, right? Because we go to a party where we get started, but we run out of time. And so we then got to finish it on our own. Or we finish it and then we post it on our wall or put it in our office or have it on our phone because maybe it's digital, right? And then we don't either finish it or we haven't even looked at the vision board again. Maybe we look at it throughout January. It still has meaning in February, but then it starts to wear out its welcome. It wears out its meaning by March. And then by June, you forgot what he was even on the vision board. Or maybe in August, you look at the vision board and you're like, dag, I still didn't accomplish X goal. Or by this time, I was supposed to mark off at least 4 or 5 things on my vision board. And I barely scratched off one, right? All the things that come up with vision boards to where it causes people to be discouraged about the vision board, or they scrap it halfway through the year, or they're like, you know what, I'm just going to try again next year, right? And the year hasn't even ended. You're already canceling the year out. Well, these 5 strategies is going to cancel all of that. It's going to help you not get discouraged throughout the year. It's going to help you be intentional so you actually accomplish those goals. It's going to help you create a plan so that you can follow it throughout the year, and you can start checking off all the things on that vision board so that you can finally live the life that you envision, the life that you've been dreaming of. So let's get started. Number 1. Okay, one thing. Did you get your vision board? You need your vision board. If you already have completed a vision board, bring it with you. If you haven't completed a vision board, but you know what goals you would put on a vision board or what goals you've had for this year, write them down. Because these strategies, I want you to use this time to actually start using the strategies in the moment. Yeah, this is real time. Like I'm putting you to work. Yes, start putting these strategies into effect now so that you can get this game started, this ball rolling, and you start changing your life now, not later. So number one, and there's no particular order. Well, actually, it is kind of an order. Yes, it's more of a step. So think of it as steps. So number 1, for the top 5 ways to guarantee success in achieving your vision boards. Number 1, or the first step, is make sure that whatever goal, whatever vision you have on your vision board or you have on your someday maybe shelf aligns with your present core values and passions. This is big because many times we don't accomplish our goals because they're actually not really relevant. They actually aren't things that really we're passionate about or that connects with our passions or connect with our values. Sometimes we have the goals because they have been goals for years and we haven't achieved it yet. And so we just keep it, not assessing, does this goal actually still apply to where I'm at in my life today? I've grown, life has changed. The person I am today, is this goal still relevant? And the way you're able to know is to know what your passions and values are. So you have to figure out, what are you passionate about? What do you value? And not just a regular value or general, I can say, but a deep core value, like what you value to the core. So you want to think about your passions and your values. Your values are behaviors, actions, character traits, right? Those are things that you value. So some examples are, you might value traveling, you might value adventure, you might value humor, you might value honesty, you might value faith in your life, you might value community or making a difference, right? Those are examples of different type of traits, different type of actions, right, that you may value. And then your passions are things that if it was removed from your life, you would absolutely miss. You would not feel fulfilled without it in your life. What is that thing? So think about that. Sometimes we think of values in a very general way, like family. Family is a value. Don't get it twisted. That is a value. But if you want to really figure out the core behind why family is a value of yours, think about that. Ask yourself, well, why do I value family? Maybe it's because you love getting together with your family and the connections that you end up having with your family. Maybe it's because you have a good time and there's a lot of laughter. And maybe you get support or you're able to help and encourage each other, right? So when you think about it, really what you value about family is togetherness, community, connection, humor, right? Can you see how now that you went deeper, family means so much more? Because you understand really the core behind your value of family. And then your passions may be similar to your values. So, for example, for me, I have a passion for traveling. I love to travel. And it's also my value. And I value, if I want to go deeper, I value traveling because allows me to experience adventure, and I enjoy adventure and I value adventure. It also allows me to be exposed to other people's cultures. So I like to be exposed to culture and just different traditions, right? And those are things that I value, right? The type of knowledge that comes with that, learning new things, right? That's some of the things that I value, and traveling allows me to do that. So going back to number one, the first step, one of the top 5 ways to guarantee success in achieving your vision board goals is make sure whatever you have on that vision board, whatever that goal or that big idea is, it aligns with what you're passionate about and what you value. Number two, number two is all about setting a completion goal date. One of the reasons why we don't complete half of the things on our vision board because there's no date. It's like by the end of 2023, right? If you're watching this in real time, we're now in January of 2023. And you may have already joined or attended a vision board party. You have one coming up, right? And you have all these ideas of what do you want to accomplish by the end of or before the year ends, right? No date. And so it's just very ambiguous of when it's going to happen. But when you actually set a date, it makes it real, which is, to be honest, which is why we don't set the dates, because then we have to hold ourselves accountable. Then it makes it real, like, oh, I'm really going after this. Like, this is a real thing. And in the fear of failing or the fear of not accomplishing it or a fear of not being enough or not having the capabilities of doing it, all that comes up. And listen, all of that is okay because all of that fear, all that worry, that doubt is normal. Embrace it because it's allowing you to know that this is important to you. It's helping you to recognize what could be some barriers that may stop you. That fear might be a barrier and how to overcome. Thinking about how do I overcome this fear so I can keep pushing through regardless. How can I persevere through the doubt that might come up? How can I be okay with making mistakes and get back up? So set a completion date. Because the completion date will then hold you accountable and then will help you be more intentional about completing the goal. Number three for the top 5 ways to guarantee success in achieving your vision board goals. Number 3 is break the big goals down into quarterly goals. Many times when we look at a vision board, it can be very overwhelming because we have 5, 10, sometimes maybe even 20 words or images, right, for what we want to accomplish by the end of the year, right? And just looking at the board can be inspiring, but it also can feel very overwhelming, right? How am I going to do all this? And also, it's just a word or it's just a picture. So it's just a big goal, but there's so much that you have to do in order to accomplish the goal that it becomes very overwhelming. How am I going to do all that? How am I going to do that and also do what this goal requires, right? When you break it down into smaller chunks, it becomes more attainable, it becomes more realistic, and the anxiety about how to get it all done decreases. So what that will look like is taking whatever your big goal is. So maybe a common goal is buying a house. That's a common goal that people put on a vision board, right? So let's say you have a picture of your dream house, right? Or maybe that's on your someday maybe shelf, being a homeowner, right? That's pretty big. But when you break it down in chunks, okay, so what does that look like each quarter? First of all, set the completion date. When do you want to buy a house by? Is it by the end of the year, so December 2023? Is it August 2023? Maybe it's May of 2023. Whatever that time frame is, right? Set that time frame. Also make sure it's realistic. The time frame is realistic, right? But to be honest, it can be realistic when you end up being intentional with these next 3 steps I'm going to give you. So even if it is August 2023, or maybe it's May of 2023, it can be attainable if you're intentional and you're realistic about what your smaller goals are. So if your goal is, let's say, August 2023, you want to think about, okay, so for these next 3 quarters, what do I want to achieve? So the quarters go in 3. So the first quarter is January, February, March. Second quarter is April, May, June, and then so on and so forth. So if we're talking about now, January, February, March, quarter 1, What would you need to accomplish? What would you like to accomplish by the end of March? That could be the first segment of getting to the big goal of achieving buying a house or becoming a homeowner, right? And maybe it's to save a certain amount. Maybe you want to save a certain amount by the end of the quarter. And you can have the same goal each quarter. So maybe each quarter you want to save X amount of money, right? And you could also have more than one goal as well. So maybe it's saving money and then also maybe it's something else, right? But let's stick with the saving money. So now by the end of March, you want to save X amount of dollars to go towards your finances. Now, number four, we're going to go right into number four. So, number four then is to identify the action steps and make them smart. So, now you have your completion date, August 2023. I want to buy a house by August 2023. You have your quarter one goal, save X amount of money, right? So, now we got to think about, so for these next 3 months, what are some action steps I'm going to take? What do I need to do? And you want to think about it and you want to list what those action steps, and then you can easily break those action steps even down even further to what that looks like each month, what that looks like each week, etc. in those 3 months. So if you need to save X amount of money, maybe it's developing a budget. Maybe you don't even have a budget. Maybe a budget specifically for buying a house, right? Maybe it's getting a second job, right? Or getting, seeking a promotion or a raise, right? Those are just some examples. And so you want to think about, what are the action steps I need to do? If I'm trying to save X amount of money, what do I need to do? And the way you make them smart, because that's the second part of number four, is make them smart, is you want to now be intentional about what that really means. So if you're familiar with goal writing, the SMART goal method helps you be specific and intentional when it comes to writing goals out. And being specific and intentional helps you get closer and it's more likely for you to actually achieve your goals. So the SMART goal method, SMART is an acronym, and I'm going to tell you what each one stands for. So let's talk about, let's say the goal is to, get a second job, right? Now, being specific, S stands for specific. You want to specifically identify, what do you mean by job? It's like specifically, it might be get a part-time job. It might be get a raise, a promotion. Like specifically, what are you talking about when it talks about get a job? Because getting a job is very general. Let's be specific about that. M is measurable. Let's make it measurable. Right? So is it getting one job? Is it getting two jobs? And actually, I'm going to change the goal actually. So if you already know that you want to get a second job, right? So then maybe the action step to that is to really apply for jobs, right? In order to get a job, you got to apply for jobs, right? So maybe the action step is to apply for jobs or to apply for a promotion, etc. Whatever that looks like within your department, or if you're trying to get a second job. And so you want to be specific about, okay, apply for a part-time job, right? And then measurable is how many, right? How many jobs do you want to apply for? Are you just trying to apply for one job? Or are you trying to apply for 2-3 jobs, so you can have options? And also because obviously you might not get the first job, you might have to apply for more than one, right? And then what does that look like? How frequently are you're going to apply for jobs, right? Is it apply for one job once a week? Is it apply for 2 jobs once a week, or apply for 3 jobs every other week, or to apply for 5 jobs by January, right? So it's thinking about how many jobs. The measurable is how many jobs are you going to apply for. Then it's A, attainable. Make sure it's attainable. So whatever that number is, and then we're going to get to T, which is timely, but whatever that time frame is and that number, how many jobs you're going to apply for, you want to make sure that it's attainable. If you're looking at your schedule, you're looking at your lifestyle, and applying for 5 jobs a week, you realize that's not realistic. I'm not going to be able to do that many times. That's okay. Be realistic with yourself. Make sure that it's attainable, because if it's not attainable, you're not going to achieve it. And if you don't achieve it, then you're going to feel discouraged. And then you might quit. You might slow down, you might hesitate, you might procrastinate, and now you're getting further and further away from achieving your ultimate goal, which is in August of 2023, buying that home, right? Or becoming a homeowner, right? R is relevant. Make sure it's relevant. Whatever your goal is, make sure it makes sense. Is it relevant to what you're trying to achieve? Is it relevant to what's meaningful to you? Does it make sense? Does it mean something to you? Right? So applying for a job can be meaningful, but if you part of that is like, well, take some certifications. If that, then one of the action steps is to take certifications so that you can get a certain type of job, but you really don't want to take those certifications. It's not really a job that you really want, but you're just saying it because it sounds good. You're not going to want to achieve it. So make sure it's relevant, it's meaningful to you. And then T is timely. Have an end date. So that goes back to what I was saying earlier about how often are you going to apply for those number of jobs. So if you have 3 jobs, you apply for 3 jobs. Well, how frequently are you going to do that? Are you going to do that every week, every other week? Are you going to do it by a time span, a time frame, which is, January 28th, for example, right? Put a time. Again, you got to have that completion date or a frequency to hold yourself accountable. To hold yourself accountable. So that's number 4. Again, making sure you identify action steps and then make them smart. And number 5, last but certainly not least, you want to make sure that you celebrate your wins. This, I have to say, this is probably, for me, I believe is the most important one, because you can set a date, you can have these action plans, right? Action steps, and then make them smart. But if you are not encouraging yourself along the way, and you're only allowing yourself to see the big wins, then it's going to feel very discouraging. If life happens and it throws you a curveball and you got to go left when you were planning on going right, right? If you got to take a pause, right? Or if you're making progress, but it's like slow and small, slow and steady progress, if you're not acknowledging any of that, you're going to want to give up. It's going to feel like you're going nowhere. It's going to feel like I'm doing all this hard work and nothing to show for it. When really, there probably is a lot. If you're allowing yourself, you're giving yourself the permission to acknowledge all size wins, not just big, huge wins that have accolades and, different tangible outcomes or rewards, but even the small wins. So celebrate the progress you're making along your journey. That is what's going to be the key to persevering. That's going to be the key to keep you motivated to keep going when it starts to get rough, it starts to get hard and tough. It's going to keep you pushing. So let's do a quick recap. Again, the top 5 ways to guarantee success in achieving your vision board goals is: number 1, make sure your goals align with your core values and your passions. Number 2, set a completion date. Number 3, break down your big goals into quarterly goals. Number 4, identify action steps and make them smart. And number 5, celebrate your wins. Now, you may be thinking, Natasha, this sounds great. I would love a tool where I can keep track of all this so I can make sure what action steps I want to do and what do I plan on doing. I got you. So here is my planner. It's available on my website, speaklifetransformation.com. And this planner, Living Speak Life, is a daily planner that's going to really help you achieve your goals, because I have in here, you're going to be able to each month identify, 1, what am I trying to achieve this month, right? What are my goals for this month? And the month can be part of those quarterly goals, right? If your quarterly goal is to save up X amount of money by the end of the quarter, maybe even break that down and say, well, each month, so I can reach that quarterly goal, I want to save X amount of money by the end of the month. And that might be one of your goals. And so that sheet's going to help you not only identify your goals for the month, but also identify those barriers that might get in the way and how you're going to overcome those barriers. And then each day after that, you will be able to write down those action steps, right? I give you the option to choose 5 action steps. You don't have to do all, you don't have to do 5. It could be 3 or 4, for example. But you want to identify, okay, what action steps am I going to complete today? What am I going to focus on today so I can make sure? And the action step might be, all right, today I'm going to apply for one job, right? Today's the day I'm choosing to focus on applying for a job. And then also it gives you the option to even think about self care. Because if you're not caring for yourself, you're not going to have the energy to really pour into yourself and put yourself first in this way. And then I also have a weekly reflection. So this weekly reflection will allow you to then be able to journal about your week. How did your week go? What went well? What didn't go well? What is your intention for the following week, right? And so this planner, I'm telling you, will be a game changer. It's $19.99, available on my website. And that's the link is also in the show notes, so you can click the link below and you'll be able to immediately get access to the page. You don't have to search for it. And you can purchase your copy today. And maybe you're like, Natasha, this was great, but I know trying to do this on my own is going to be a struggle. Like, I need somebody that's going to help hold me accountable. I would love for you to walk me through this in more detail to my situation so I can really understand how to apply this to my situation. Then my confidence coaching will be perfect for you. So click the show note below, check the show notes and click the link below in the show notes for the confidence coaching, where you can learn different ways you can work with me. Again, you can work with me through the program, and in that program I definitely go in more detail about how to really achieve your visions into goals and make them reality. But also I have one-on-one confidence coaching where we can just talk about it one-on-one. You have to necessarily go through the program. So again, that link is in the show notes. I hope that this was super helpful for you. If it was, then if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe so you can get more helpful tips, strategies, encouraging, inspirational videos. And make sure you like this video, like it, share it with other people that you know. Listen, I just had a vision board party with a bunch of my friends, and I know this could be so helpful for them. Share it with them. Put it in a group chat. Put it on your Facebook page. Put it on your Instagram page. Like, share it so other people can receive these hot, game-changing tips. And so until I see you guys again, make sure you be bold, be safe, and speak life.